Okay, guys, sorry for those delays, but it is my pleasure to now bring you the second series of the night, and indeed the first game thereof. These two players have spawned into Overgrowth and been very patient with us. Spawning in the top right, in the purple, from my insanity, it is the Protoss player, Arium.
And his opponent spawning in the bottom left corner, representing Rude Gaming. It is the Yellow Zerg player, Petraeus.
And you guys missed the bit of the game where neither player did anything, so congratulations to that. That's not a whole bunch happening. Arium, standard gateway expand, Petraeus, hatch, pool, gas. Now he's getting speed and has got no more gas mining at this point in time. So it is almost the most standard and vanilla openings you can see out of these guys. But as I said earlier, I got to cast Petraeus yesterday, and he always opens like this. I saw him open like this almost every time, and it's where he goes after that it gets interesting, because he actually had a bit of a tendency to do the fast Mutalisks that we saw Scarlet doing the other week.
Yeah.
But taking a third in this game, so I want to see what he brings out.
Yeah, really fast third coming out of here from Petraeus, and a very fast Twilight Council coming out of Arium. Now, that's something that we don't usually see, actually, in this matchup too often, this quickly. Makes me wonder if he thinks that he's playing against the Terran or not, but no, we're going to see something kind of cool with this Twilight, whether it is going to be DTs or Blink. Looking, not going to call it just yet, but with that Stalkers coming out, the second one, I assume it will be Blink.
Yeah. It totally is. And I've seen some fast DT styles that you can use in this matchup, and of course they catch people totally off guard because you really don't see Dark Templar that much, so someone going for them is very, very weird. It is a very unusual style, and you can follow up those builds with Blink a lot of the time, so it's pretty cool.
Exactly.
But Arium just going straight for it.
Yeah, he's going right for it. Usually at this point of the game, if you scout the front, you see the gateways, and you're like, all right, is it going to be a 4-gate? Or is it going to be some kind of robo-based, or Stargate opening, like the different tech paths of Protoss? But in this matchup, you don't typically think that it is going to be this early of a Blink, but it could be the case here. We saw it, actually, this is, I mixed up my games, actually. It was a game that was at Home Story Cup with, I believe, Hasuabs and Petraeus, actually, as well, where he did get blinked on. He got blunked on.
He got blunk.
He got blunked on hardcore and ended up overextending and losing the game. So we'll see if Petraeus deals with this in a reasonable fashion, because he doesn't really know that it's on the way yet, and it's not something that you typically will expect.
No, he did seemingly try to move an Overlord into the main base, but it was chased away by the Stalker on the high ground, which is exactly what you'd expect. And Arium now putting down a lot of extra gateways. He's up to... how many is he building? He's building 5, so he's going to have 8-gate Blink.
Wow.
8-gate Blink. That is so many Blink Stalkers.
Yeah. Petraeus, a player that usually will get that Overlord speed to see what is going on, decided not to get it this game, and he's going to go and scout and see Twilight Council getting chrono boosted with a bunch of gateways getting morphed in. Warped in, rather. Oh, yeah. And here comes the push already. Petraeus is going to try to hold us with Roach Ling. And let's see, what is he? He has an overdrone, though. He's at 46 drones, so he may be able to actually hold this, or at least not let it get out of control.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hold with Roaches, but then instead of that, just saw that it was a big Stalker push, saw the Twilight Council with the Overlord that moved in, and kind of went, Overseer, sorry, and he kind of went, okay, well, then I guess it's time for Lings, because Lings are probably the better answer here, and without upgrades, these Stalkers are going to be 5-shotting instead of 4-shotting, which does make a difference over time, but not perhaps the hugest one, and you need +2 to gain that benefit anyway. But nice time warp going down immediately on top of the Roaches. The Stalkers are just going to blink back, and outranging the Roaches is going to give them a huge advantage in this fight.
Great move here from Petraeus. He is destroying the proxy pylon, so it is going to delay the warp in here, but another proxy pylon has gone down from Arium, and he's warping in some more of these Stalkers. Those Lings are just going to keep on trying to pick off those pylons, the Paris pick-off, as you would call it here, and it is going to be Arium going back to just defend it, and this is allowing Petraeus to get a lot of Roaches out. So will he be able to do it?
Yeah, I think you might. I love that. That's really funny. Really, really great surround by Petraeus. I think he might be able to hold this. Moving in with the Roaches now, the Lings killing off all the pylons, as you said, and actually chasing these Blinkstalkers that are on such low health back across the map.
Yep, and he's trying to get those low health ones. That's the reason why he's chasing it. You may ask, why would you chase these stalkers back? And you might get your roaches caught out, but you don't want those shields to regenerate on those stalkers. So he's just trying to pick off as many of the stalkers that he could, and he ended up doing it pretty well. I've seen him overextend before and then lose the game because of it, but I think that was a good call there, as he was able to not let this stalker count get to an unmanageable amount. Petraeus is trying his hardest here. There's so many low health stalkers left, and I think he's going to get pushed back for a second. But
he actually killed a lot of them in this attack. Even with a couple of flanking roaches to pick off the super weak ones, a lot of the stalkers of Arium have gone down, and he's fallen back all the way to the Zelnaga Tower. This Mothership Core is going to keep chipping away, trying to do as much damage as possible. But I would have thought he might have turned around and fought there. With Arium stalkers blinking forwards, they then can't blink back.
Yeah. But I like this from Petraeus getting blink, because when you go for that Twilight Tech, detection is something that you do lack. Yeah, the Mothership Core is not targetable, but I mean, all it does is tickle at this point. Arium is retreating back to his proxy pylon, which is so far back, and he just doesn't have that. What is it? The overwhelming number, and then you get to that critical mass of stalkers. He's not getting to that point. He keeps on losing them.
Every single time Petraeus engages, he kills off a lot of stalkers, and it means that Arium isn't going to reach the overrunning number that you keep speaking of. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that. But every single time, Petraeus has to keep on fighting, and he's doing such a good job of holding this as well. Moving forwards with the roaches, not being caught too badly by the time warp. And I think if these stalkers blink forward, that will be Petraeus' cue to engage. Is that? Oh, he's trying to do it. They blink out.
Arium trying to make this happen. He's only on 40 probes, so that economic lead does go to Petraeus at the moment. Blink has completed. He can regenerate his roaches and is kind of playing the Protoss card by having the regenerating shield, but it's just his HP. He's going to have a lot, though, and there it is. No detection.
What you going to do?
I would have loved to see Arium actually burrow first. I mean, Petraeus burrow first and then set up a trap. But now Arium is well aware of it, and he might even get surrounded here. This is a scary situation.
I don't think that little ball of roaches can fight the army on its own, and that's what I think he was going for. If he managed to trap it down there, then it might not have been able to get up, but I guess it could have blinked around, and then the roaches would have had to go through the rocks. As it is, of course, just going to keep killing off as many stalkers as possible with this roach force moving forward. This is very, very challenging for Arium to deal with, and he can't expand out of this either, because he's got his creep all over his potential third base. He'd have to expand to the kind of forward third, and that's not where you want to be at all as a retreating all-inning player.
Not at all, and GG will be called. Petraeus takes game number 1. Woo! Just a very nice defense there, recognizing it, not over-droning, and then holding it. Welcome back, folks, ladies, gentlemen. It is the ASL Prime Season 3. We are in Group E. And we got these players, man. They're about to face off against each other in game number 2. King Sejong Station is the map. I'm Tempo, joined by Leth, and this player spawning in the top left corner, representing Root Gaming, but he has traveled all the way from New Zealand to the United States of America, all the way to Switzerland. It is the yellow Zerg player, Petraeus.
And his opponent, I have no idea where he's from. I know what team he's on and I know where they're from.
SoCal area. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. See, he knows. In the red and the bottom right of the map, representing my insanity, it is the Protoss player, Arium.
Very young player, actually. I believe he's
14, I've heard.
Yeah. Damn. He's pretty young, man. I was playing, what was I playing at 14? I think I was playing Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast.
I was playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So much.
Oh, yeah, I remember Elder Scrolls. I didn't play that till I was a little bit older, though.
No, I got it when I was like 13 or 14, and I played Elder Scrolls to death. I must have like a month of playtime on the. That's probably less than I've actually played. Yeah. It's so much on that game. I've got like 90 hours into Skyrim and then gave up.
Yeah. No, Morrowind, I don't know how many hours I put into that game. It was like the first open world RPG that I played, and I was like, this is pretty sick. But, you know, this is an open world RTS, as this is quite an open map on King Sejong Station, representing My Insanity and Root, respectively. Arium and Petraeus facing off. Petraeus does have a 1-game lead for those that are just now tuning in, and is opening up very similar to how he did last game. Actually, I don't know what the gas situation was for Arium in game number 1. I actually forget. I believe it was 2 gas if he did go for blink though.
Yeah, he actually went to 4 gas on his natural at about the 6-minute mark, I think, just to not to get up to his Twilight Council, but then afterwards, when he knew he was going to need to start warping in heavily, he started getting a lot of extra gas. But at this point in time, this is actually looking like a very similar build.
I wonder, yeah. Do you think he does it again?
I mean, I didn't think he was going to, but it looks like it with the fast Twilight Council. I don't know. We'll have to see what comes out of Arium. Petraeus himself going for that 1 gas again. Is mining 100 starting, and then actually going back into gas a little sooner, I think. So we might see a faster lair. We might see a generally faster tech progression out of him. And he's definitely gone for the 3rd a little bit later, but only just. Maybe only about 40 seconds.
Yeah, not rushing it out as fast as he did before. But Arium, though, all right, folks. Well, we are going to see a Dark Shrine coming out of Arium, but it's proxied. So if Petraeus were to go into the main to scout, he would see what looked very similar, and he has no way of scouting this Dark Shrine. He's actually going to see it, and this may be good for Arium, you know? But
yeah,
does he realize that it's not researching, or that's another
He should realize, but I don't know. I mean, you can see whether it's researching, but it's one of the more confusing animations, I think, because it looks exactly the same. It's just a bit faster, and a player of Petraeus' level really ought to know what that means. But perhaps he won't. We'll have to see. So far, lair isn't complete. We haven't seen any spore crawlers come down, which would be a sign that he definitely knows.
Yeah.
So I think he might not have cottoned onto it.
He might not. You may have thought that it just finished. Photon Overcharge going down already just to hold it. It's looking very similar with these 2 stalkers at the front. And another proxy pylon going on for Arium. He's paving the way. Oh, but he's going to put down a pylon right next to that Overlord, and a proxy pylon in that location is a sneaky one.
Okay.
You know it's not just like, oh, I'm going to make blink stalkers and warp him in from way over there.
Yeah, no, he grabbed it though. Like he grabbed the probe, then cancelled the pylon, and then put it down anyway, and just kind of went, "Yeah, it'll be fine."
Mm-hmm.
Is a brave man. So, yeah, those Zerglings going to attack that pylon. The DTs are going to walk straight past it. I think it might be a 1 in every mineral line kind of situation, and there are no detection units or buildings made by Petraeus yet. But what's following it up? It's Blink. Oh, when I talked about that DTs into Blink build, it's that. That's the thing. This is it, except it's got 1 fewer DTs than I make.
Oh, out of position, but he is going to be able to hold it. Arium getting shut down here because Petraeus did make that Overseer right in time, making a second one so that he doesn't get peeled apart and, in case a DT decided to sneak in. But you know what? I'm a little bit nervous now for Arium because that DT warping is usually supposed to kill the 3rd so that the lava production is cut significantly for when the blink attack hits. So this is a little bit of a dicey situation, especially with those 2 proxy pylons getting killed by Petraeus already.
Yeah, it sure is. But Petraeus has not scouted these gateways, located as they are on the low ground, a little bit unusually. And there's not been that much scouting out of him in general. So I'm kind of looking around to see what, if and when he's going to move in, and at what point, therefore, he's going to get warning of it happening.
Well, I think, those lings. No, these changelings are going to be able to see this. Yep, he sees it, and it looks very weird, right? Like, you're probably not thinking it is going to be Blink, but... It doesn't look like that. Yeah, with that many sentries being warped in. This may be just a feint pressure, because we do see the Robo coming. I don't know, to be honest.
I don't know. Thing is, it feels it ought to be all in, but with that many sentries, he could transition into a 3rd as well. It wouldn't be unsafe to do so. These could be just what I've called before North Korea gateways. And then you go for the 3rd behind it. But there is a ling on the 3rd, so he would have to clear it out, and obviously it would be scouted. And without taking the 3rd at this point, it is effectively an all-in.
He is going in, he has to. And this is a scary position to be in. Those sentries, will allow him to try to take a favorable engagement, but he needs the perfect force fields here, and, he could set it up. Keeping this location here, it is...
Don't let the sentries get pulled into the roaches. That's the opposite of what you want. Nope. Nice force fields, actually, I think. Just about... No, maybe not letting too many around the edges. I think a lot of the sentries went down in that. It's going to be really hard for Everett to transition out of should he want to.
And with Burrow done already too, he's not even able to see these. But he does have a robo, so I don't know if he made an observer. It looks like an observer is on the way.
Yeah.
I think Arium's best bet here would be to try to snipe off the Overseer and then morph in some DTs, but he's not doing that. He's going to go ahead, and now Petraeus realizes that there is an observer, and there's no Overseer with the army, though. Okay, here it comes.
No, the Overseer is going to come in with the army now. Of course, could get sniped off by the Stalkers, but will be very, very difficult to do from the positions they're in. Even with a blink forward would be too costly. But Arium's army is at a significant disadvantage at this point. 40 army supply in favor of Petraeus.
He's out of force fields.
His blink micro is going to have to be absolutely godly.
Yeah, I don't even know. Even gods die sometimes. And here we go. It is going to be Petraeus moving it forward, and he's going off of creep though, so he doesn't need to be careful.
Super careful. Nice blink back by Arium, keeping most of those Stalkers alive, which was something he wasn't able to do in the previous game. Now with a better army, slightly increased trading, Arium might be better placed to move out.
Yeah, this is very difficult situation for Arium. No upgrade, so he doesn't have that kind of advantage where over time he would be able to kind of overwhelm. But he's on equal upgrades here. And Petraeus is only on 50 drones. He has not gone past that mark. He is making nothing but units. Has a Ling at the third. He knows exactly what Arium is capable of and what he is not capable of even as well. And he's going to learn from last time. Petraeus is not going to overextend by going off of creep. That is what Arium would love, so that he could, maybe blink forward and pick off that Overseer. I feel like this is a... Yeah, see DT even coming, but Overseer always... Oh, it's going to sneak. And this may mess with him.
Get some damage done. This is going to be pretty unfortunate for Petraeus just for a moment, because suddenly he realizes that everything's going a bit further south than he intended. Yep, that DT now killing off quite a lot of workers. That's going to cut into the money income for Petraeus, and in addition to that, you can even use them to kill lava if you're really desperate.
Yeah. And it's a last-ditch effort, but he's making it work. Arium is using what tech that he has, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He split the army of Petraeus, and that could have given him an opportunity to try to pick off some more roaches. But oh man, Petraeus has doubling army supply at the moment, and it is straight up just roachling with Burrow as well. With Immortals, though, on the way here left.
Yeah, there's a few of them. 2 are already complete, and a third one is on the way. And at some point, these guys are going to bust through... It looks like the rocks, actually, but I was thinking he might go through the pylon at the front. And I guess he doesn't have the supply for that. And then he's going to join those into the fight. And they are going to be pretty good against roaches. If there's one thing Immortals like to fight, it is roaches.
I would say so, yeah. Roaches are, like... #1 cuisine in Immortal Land, right? It's just
delicious.
But that's a lot of roaches and lings. Sometimes an overwhelming number of roaches can kind of bypass the fact that Immortals have that bonus damage to them. But you know what? Sometimes you'll see this though. Zerg players will kind of get stuck on this roach play, and the longer this goes on with Arium just warping in and not losing units, he can eventually get to an amount of units, especially with the Immortals to supplement, to take the army. He may be able to take a really nice cost-effective trade. But, Petraeus is maxed out, and this is looking scary. He's looking to trade right now.
So scary. But
wait your Pokemon cards out, I'm trading.
You can't catch Arium, though. That's the problem. This massive army of Stalkers that's now being backed up by 3 Immortals can't be caught off creep, and the creep has been denied really effectively by the observers, by the Stalkers just constantly chipping away at it. And with the Immortals joining the fight, this is going to get damaging real fast.
The thing here is that Petraeus needs that. He absolutely does need to trade, but the problem is that Arium is so close to his production and inside of his natural and then his third, that this is a very scary position. There's no upgrades here, but there's 3 Immortals inside of the middle of there. And all that Petraeus has for
surround! What a surround out of Petraeus, and I'm still not sure it's going to be enough, with these Immortals adding their damage to the force, now being focused down by the roaches, but they add so much damage, with the Stalkers blinking back, now Zerglings being sent in to kill off the Stalkers, but those Immortals might have been the edge that Arium so desperately needed.
And now we're going to see the godly blink micro once again. This is Arium's time to make something happen. While the roach numbers are small and are just trickling out, this is the time to do it. And can he do it? Is it going to be enough? Oh, it's so hard to do this. And if he does it, it would be quite an amazing feat, as he was looking pretty dead. But I think Petraeus just might have a little bit too much.
No.
GG.
GG. What a good game.
Yeah.